All right, let's dive into something that honestly affects every single one of us every single day, our gut health. We're going to break down something called the Bristol Blueprint. It's a really powerful and, believe it or not, super simple way to understand and even reset your gut. So, you ready? Let's get into it.
So let me ask you something right off the bat. Your body is talking to you constantly. It's sending you signals about what's going on inside, and your gut, well, it's probably the most honest messenger you've got. The real question is, are you listening? We're about to learn how to understand exactly what it's saying.
And look, this is why this matters so much. You hear this word all the time, inflammation. It's basically the main villain in the health story of our era. It's this quiet, simmering problem that's linked to so many chronic diseases. And you know where its story often begins? Yep, right in your gut. Okay, so let's really get into what we're up against here. When we talk about chronic inflammation, we're not talking about a twisted ankle that gets puffy. No. This is more like a silent fire that's just kind of smoldering inside your body day in and day out. And we need to figure out what's feeding those flames. And boom, here's the connection. Your gut lining is supposed to be like this super secure border crossing. But when that wall gets damaged, when it gets a little too porous, you might have heard the term leaky gut, it lets stuff into your bloodstream that has no business being there. And what does your body do? It sounds the alarm, and that alarm is inflammation. Okay, so that's the problem. But here's the really good news. You don't need some fancy, expensive lab test to see how your gut barrier is doing. You actually have a built-in diagnostic tool you can use every single day. I mean, this is the big question, isn't it? How can you possibly get real-time feedback on what's happening inside of you? The answer you'll see is surprisingly simple. It's accessible to literally everyone, and it's all about paying a little bit of attention to the most basic output of your digestive system. And this is the tool. It's called the Bristol Stool Scale. Now, I know it might seem a little weird, but stick with me. It was actually developed by doctors as a clinical tool, but for us, it's just a simple visual guide. It turns something we'd rather just flush and forget into really valuable, actionable data about our health. So let's just quickly walk through this. It's super simple. You see, down at one end, types 1 and 2, that means you're constipated. Things are moving way too slow. Then at the other end, you've got types 5, 6, and 7. That points to inflammation, and things are moving way, way too fast. The sweet spot is right there in the middle. And here it is, number 4. This is the goal. This is what we're aiming for. A type 4 is pretty much the gold standard. It's a clear sign that your digestive system is happy, your microbiome is thriving, and most importantly, that your gut barrier is strong and doing its job. This is your daily target. So, the million-dollar question, how do we get to a consistent type 4? To understand that, we have to meet the microscopic construction crew that's living inside you right now. Let's think of your gut like a garden, and these little guys are your master gardeners. You know, it all really boils down to two main players. First, you've got the gut barrier itself. We'll call it the fortress wall. It's what protects you. And then you have the trillions of gut microbes. Think of them as the construction crew. They're not just hanging out in there, they're actively building and maintaining that wall 24/7. So what's their job exactly? It's simple. They are fermentation experts. You give them the right raw material, and that raw material is fiber, and they work their magic, turning it into the actual bricks and mortar your body needs to keep that fortress wall strong and secure. The whole process is this beautiful biological assembly line, and it all starts with your choices, with what's on the end of your fork. Step 1 is so simple. You eat fiber-rich foods. Your body can't really digest it, but that's okay because your little microbial crew is absolutely starving for it. So you send that fiber down and your microbes get to work. They start fermenting it, breaking it down, and in the process, they create these incredibly powerful little compounds called short-chain fatty acids. You can think of these as like super fuel for your gut cells. And here's the final amazing step in the process. Those short-chain fatty acids, that super fuel, are exactly what the cells lining your gut use for energy. It helps them repair gaps, strengthen the junctions, and keep that barrier sealed up tight. And when the barrier is tight, that system-wide inflammation starts to calm down. Okay, now for what is, I think, the most incredible and empowering part of this whole story. This rebuilding process, it's not something that takes months or years. Your body is just an amazing self-healing machine, and the timeline for this whole reconstruction project is, well, it's kind of staggering. Get this, 3 to 5 days. That's it. That is how fast the cells that make up your entire gut lining can turn over and be replaced. That means you literally have the opportunity to build a brand new gut barrier every single week.
So look, if you take away just one thing today, let it be this. You are in direct control. You can actively lower inflammation and shore up your body's main line of defense just by choosing to feed your internal construction crew the fiber they need to do their job. It's that simple. And that's what I really want to leave you with. Knowing that a complete gut renovation is possible in just the next few days. The power is completely in your hands. The question isn't if you can rebuild your gut. The real question is, what are you going to choose to build it with?